Hey, buenos dias, guys. Welcome back to another video. Finally, here is the deck profile that you all been waiting for. And this is some spice, guys. This is some spice. But in order to understand what I'm talking about and why I think that this deck is the best deck in this current format, you need to listen to me really closely and carefully. I'm going to explain to you every little detail from this deck. But before we continue, guys, real quick, huge shout out to my sponsor, man. Guys, this is not only my sponsor, he is also one of my close friends. Every time I need some cards, whatever it is, he always hooks me up. And now he's also going to hook you up because you're going to get 10% off if the code CANAC10. Just DM him CANAC10 and he will understand to give you 10% off because he knows you guys are coming from me. So please check this out. By the way, I still have some signed full arm masters that I'm going to send out to the first people that purchase from here. Already sent out like 20 or something, but I still have a couple more full arm masters laying around here that I want to send to you guys. So the first people that purchase from here, you're also going to get some signed full armor masters for free, plus 10% off, like 10% on cards. Like, this is beautiful, isn't it? All right, let's just go to this deck profile, guys, because oh my god, I have so much to say. Yo, guys, first of all, check out this beautiful playmat that I won after I dropped from the from day two. uh I just went nuts and crazy because I was so frustrated from the things that happened that I just went and won this cool mat and the side events. So yeah, this is really beautiful mat. Okay, so guys, there's a couple things that you need to understand about this deck. This is not the typical deck that you can just pick and go straight to locals and win everything. Okay, my friends, my people, they tried it. They took this deck for a couple of weeks, like 2 3 weeks, and haven't won a single local tournament, even though I was completely dominating like 5 tournaments, like 5 locals in a row, going 4-0 while they were just struggling with it. So this is not a deck like, for example, Kashtira or any other meta deck that you can just take and go and win. Okay, this deck needs some time. You need to understand it. Like, if you just look at on paper, this deck looks actually really stupid. Okay, if you just look at paper, like, but if you see like the things that are possible, if you can see those combos that usually, like me for example, because I'm playing this deck now since October and I'm still learning things every day. Like, I haven't stopped learning with this deck ever. So you need to understand that it the grind just never stops. Okay, so give this deck a chance because I believe, because me personally, guys, those 7-1, I went day one 7-1-1. Okay, the reason why I didn't write on the thumbnail my final standing is because after day one, just stupid shit happens, and I had a match lost, and then yeah, just day two was not so well for me, as you guys know, if you have seen the other videos. So, yeah. My final standing though was 8 wins, 1 tie, 2 losses, and 1 match loss. So basically 3 match losses. And the second loss in day two I received because I was just so frustrated and so emotional that I constantly just misplayed, and yeah, that really sucked. But okay, let's just go to this deck, guys, and I'll explain to you why I'm playing this deck the way that I'm playing it. Alright, first of all, we are playing 3 times the moon. You guys already know what the moon does, man. Like, I don't have to explain to you guys what the moon does. One of the best cards in this deck. If you start with this deck, with this card, then usually you automatically win, because if your opponent has like 2 infinite impermanences on their hand, it doesn't matter. Like, you're still gonna go full combo or at least build a solid board. And I don't remember, like, I can remember another deck that can play through 2 infinite impermanences, or veilers, whatever. Okay, next up we got 3 times Zudri. Zudri is also like, this card is just insane. Like, not only because it can search, it's first of all, it's not a soft once per turn. So if you go with nothing and bounce this card back with Shamal to your hand in a normal summon again, you can search again. So that's really nice. And if you get interrupted too many times, that like in emergency you can activate second effect, tribute anything on the field, and then special summon a level 2 tuner token so that you can continue with your synchros. Obviously you're going to be locked in synchros after that, but nevertheless it is really important. Next up we got 3 times Shamal. Some people like to play it only 2, but me personally, man, this is like if you have him on your hand and Black Wild, it's automatically full combo. So I can't see this card on 2. It has to be free. It has to be. And with the combos that I'm doing, I even need 3 of those. Like if I'm going full combo, then I need 3 of those. Next up, we got 3 times Vater, or how I like to call him, Vater. In Germany, it means dad in German. So yeah, Vater is, he even looks like a dad, like no cap. Okay, next up we are playing Chinook and Hamaton. Those are the targets that you want to send to the graveyard with Vata once you activate his effect, alongside with Zephyros, of course. And by the way, Chinook is also like a really good hand trap that you can use going second if you like. Obviously, it's only a quick effect if you control a Dark Synchro monster, but if it's your turn and you top deck this card, it's still awesome. And there are some combos that I like to do with Chinook against Dimensional Barrier, that I'm also going to show you in the future. The patrons already know the combos that I'm talking about, but Chinook is just the MVP. Like in this YCS, he's probably like the MVP. So yeah, really important card, and you can recycle him with Shaman from the graveyard the whole time. So it's you're not going to use him only once. Oh, and by the way, one Zephyros is enough. Okay, don't 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 let me even get started with that. Okay, one Zephyros. Next up, we are playing one Steam, and for some people, Steam might be a brick. For me, having him on my hand, it's a blessing, to be honest. Like there's so many things I like to do with Steam that are so good, especially like, let's say you're playing against Flunder, right? If you're playing against Flunder and you do your normal summoning, if you do it with Zudri or whatever, then usually if they like tribute your Zudri, you cannot play anymore, right? But if you play against Flunder and you normal summon Steam, lose him, okay? He's gonna leave a token. Then from your graveyard, you can just special summon him again, and then continue with your special summons. Like if you have Vata on your hand or Gale, Hamatons, and you can just continue with your special summons. And this is why Steam is also so good. And by the way, like if you have Simoon on your hand together with Steam, then this is also like the best case scenario. Playing through Nibiru, playing through almost everything. So that is really good. Then we are playing one Gale. Gale is not only a great extender, but he's also a good card for going second. And I like to use him and Hamaton to go into Bullet Savage Dragon or like Berserker or something like that. And the other good thing is that you can just special summon him not only once, you can even like, let's say you special summon him, he goes to the graveyard, you can send him back to your hand with Shamal and then just special summon him again. That's the reason why him and Zudri, for example, is full combo. If you only have him and Zudri, it's full combo. So really nice. And also, it's a good bait for your opponent. Like, if you summon him and you want to target one of his monsters, do half the attack. Like, that's also sometimes the people just negate that because they don't want they don't want their big beat stick to lose their attack points. So that's really good. Alright, so next up we are playing obviously the Kali Yuga build, and these are like 2 bricks that you have to play. It happened. It happened to me in the Y says that I hard draw even both of those cards in like 2 or 3 games, both of them. I'm not talking about one of them. It happened that I drew like 2 of them, but sometimes having those 2 on your hand is not even that bad, because if you do, then you don't even need to go into your Y-Strix or Badish. You can just straight go into your full combos with these, so that is also pretty nice. But obviously, if you don't have anything else on your hands, then it could suck really bad. But yeah, those are the only bricks that you're playing. And then next up, we are playing Small World together with. This is the Small World bridge that I like to play, the Noctivision Dragon. This card is so good, guys. Not only because it's like I'm going to show you in a second why I play this card, because it works so well with the hand traps that I use, and it makes this deck so much more consistent. Like really, this card, like I really underestimated this card, and I didn't even find this card. Like one of my subscribers, I think Chris Manzer was his name. He actually suggested to play this card, so huge shout out to him. Like this card is really nice. It's not only a good small world bridge, but it also, like, if you special summon a dark dragon monster, for example, Blackwing Dragon, Muddy Mud Dragon, a Soul Dragon, Bola Savage Dragon, then you can just special summon him from your hand, use him as extenders to go, for example, into Bodish. And if you do that, then you can draw one card. Plus, he is going to be a protection in your graveyard. So if your opponent wants to target your rank up, which is set in the draw phase, then you can activate his effect, banish, sorry, not banish him, but just negate it. And once that happens, your opponent cannot target that rank up for the rest of this turn. So this card is actually going to save you. Okay. So yeah, really nice card. And I'm also going to show you the small world bridges that I like to do with this card. Next up, I'm playing 3 times Pot of Prosperity. The thing is, usually I don't, like, only if I get hand trapped, then I like to use Pot of Prosperity in my turn. It adds a lot of consistency, but the main reason why I love Pot of Prosperity is because going second, it is probably the strongest card that I have. Like I can banish automatic, like easy 6 cards going second for my extra deck, and then just you're playing, like, if you're siding, you got like 17 cards in your deck that can be useful to break your opponent's board, and Pot of Prosperity is helping you with that. So this card is not only good for going first, but it's even better for going second. And you need to keep this in mind, okay? So yeah, Pot of Prosperity also, like, was really important in this YCS for me. Next up, we are playing 3 times Black Wild. I'm experimenting it with only 2, but obviously 3 is just too good. Especially, like, in my opinion, if you start with Zudri and Wildwind, it's, in my opinion, better than starting with Simoon on your hands, because you can just chain lock, and that is that's just so good. So yeah, 3 times is, in my opinion, a must. And then 3 times Black Feather Wildwind, that's enough. You don't need more than that. 2 times, because you can search it with Shamal, you can search it with Zudri, so you will always be able to get these somehow. Alright, now let's go to our board breakers, hand traps, whatsoever. So first of all, I'm playing 3 times Ash. I expected, honestly, like, a lot of branded Despia players, but I only had like one matchup against branded Despia, and yeah, it came in clutch against him. But besides that, it's also sometimes good against Runic. If they, for example, normal summon Cricket, want to activate Cricket's effect, and you just Ash it, and then they usually just lose. But yeah, but the reason why I'm playing Ash is not only because it's a good hand trap, but as you can see, it has 0 attack. 0 attack points means for us, it has one thing in common with the Noctivision Dragon, because he also has 0 attack. Okay, so that's like a small world bridge that I'm going to show you in a second also. Then I'm also playing 3 times Veiler. I used to main 3 times Impermanence, but honestly, playing 3 times Veiler just adds so much more consistency to this deck, especially like together with small world, because if you have the Veiler or like the Ash on your hand, just small world, banish him, banish from your main deck the Noctivision Dragon, and then you can add Simoon to your hand or whatever you need. And if you don't have the Noctivision Dragon, because you got them on your hand or whatsoever, you can still use those two to search for Blackwings. Like if you have Veiler on your hand, Veiler, banish Veiler from your hand, banish Ash from your hand, you can add Gale or Steam to your hand. And if you have Ash on your hand and Veiler in your deck, then you can add Shamal, Vata. Yeah, Shamal and Vata. So that is really, really good if you can already search for those cards. Only with these two guys, you don't even need him. You can search for 3 different Blackwing monsters. Sorry, 4 different Blackwing monsters with only those two. And yeah, the Noctivision Dragon is just the ultimate small world bridge because yeah, you can play hand traps like these. And they're not only hand traps, they're also like they really add consistency. You don't understand, like, guys, like how many games I had where I started with, for example, a hand like this. Okay, like this. So many games I had that I start like this, and this was an automatic win for me because I had, first of all, like 2 hand traps usually is enough to make my opponent end his turn, and then activate Small World, banish him from my hand, banish Noctivision Dragon, and then add Simoon to my hand and go full combo. Okay, so really nice. Like, just, you guys don't understand. Like, if you just look at it like this, it looks weak. Okay, it just looks weak. But trust me, guys, this way it adds so much consistency. And the last 3 cards that I'll play are the evenly matches. And the reason why I'm playing evenly matches is this, in this format, this card is great against every deck. It's great against Runic, it's great against Labyrinth, it's great against Trap Tricks, it's great against Kashtira. So this card is like, so many people started to main these, and I understand why, because it's just so good. It's so good. Okay, so yeah, really, really nice. Alright, so before we go to the X deck, let's just take a look real quick for the side deck. In the side deck, I'm playing 2 Nibiru's, 1 Harpy Feather Duster, 2 times Lightning Storm, 3 times Book of Eclipse, 3 times Infinite Impermanence. And those are cards that you like to use for going second. And if you're going first, then I like to play 3 times Gozen Match, because the only out how they can break our full board is with Kaiju's, Lava Golem, Sphere Mode. And if you got these, it's over. And even against Kashtira, if they, let's say, they hand trap you, whatever it is, then if you got only 1 Gozen Match, you can make him completely, like, this card controls Kashtira. If they do not normal summon Fenrir first, or special summon Fenrir first, they cannot do anything anymore. So really, really good card. And the last card I have in my side deck is the Blackwing Twin Shadow, because it is just, this card, guys, if you're having issues with playing against Dimensional Barrier, then this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will soon upload another video about this. But if you want to know now what I'm talking about, then patrons already know. So yeah, just to let you know. A little bit complicated to explain why this card is so good in the side deck, but it's just a good card. Like, even if you're going first, every time I'm going first, I add this card, because you never know how many hand traps your opponent draws. And if you have this card on your hand while going full combo, and then suddenly they're able to, like, let's say 2 times 1 nip, 1 impermanence, 1 ash, then you will be thankful to have this card on your hand. Trust me. So really, really good card. Alright, now it is time for the X deck to show you what I'm playing. Obviously, 1 time the Blackwing Dragon. Then we are playing 1 Nothung. Nothung is not only good for time, but also, like, if you get interrupted a couple times, then you can go into the Nothung way and then continue with your combos like nothing happens. Like nothing happened. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so nothing really good. Then Raikiri, guys, Raikiri is not only here to go into your Asno Falcon and then Kaliuga, he is also there to break your boards and to bait your opponents. Because if you go for him first and then like try to pop his monsters, they are going to use their negates on the Raikiri. And if they do that, fine, just continue with your combos. Then one Hawkjoe is also really important to go into your combos, obviously. And then what else we got? We have Borea Storm. Where's my Borea Storm? Well, give me a second, guys. I lost the cards. Alright, next up here. Borea Storm, guys. He's also really important to send Steam to your graveyard. Or if you go in second and you want to build a board without Kalyuga, then he's also really important. Next up, of course, we got the full Arm Master, guys. And I have to say, in this YCS, full Arm Master helped me to win at least 3-4 games. Against Runic, this is the way to go. Against Labyrinth, this is the way to go. Against Traptrix, this is the way to go. Like full Arm Master just completely dominating this format. And then of course we have the one Blackwing Assault Dragon. I decided to only play one Blackwing Assault Dragon, guys. Why? Because in this format, summoning 2 Blackwing Assault Dragons doesn't do anything nowadays. Like if they top deck Book of Eclipse, it's over. It's over. Like this is not the way to go anymore. Trust me, like I've tried it. I tried so many times to summon 2 times Blackwing Soul Dragon. Like if you have nothing else, only 2 times Blackwing Soul Dragon. This is not going to win your game. Matter of fact, it is smarter to even summon like 1 full Arm Master and 1 Blackwing Soul Dragon. Because it just, trust me guys, it's not, it just doesn't, in the tournament format, having 2 of those completely won every game. Completely. That's a fact. But in this current format, summoning 2 of those doesn't really do much. Like, trust me, it does not. And then, goes from Ball Savage Dragon. Draco Berserker, guys. This card, man, like going second, it is still dominating everything. And not only that, like, not only to break your opponent's board, but it's also so good, like, against Kashtira, this card is completely dominating. Like, really is. So, huge shout out to Draco Berserker, man. And now, the comeback of the year. A card that I didn't play in the last format because it wasn't that good. But it has now made a comeback, which is the Muddy Mud Dragon and Dragoon, guys. The Dragoon, whoa. I can't tell you how many games this card won me. And by the way, guys, I found a completely new way how to play through Nibiru, okay? Around through Nibiru with Dragoon. And it's not the old way that I've showed you. It's a completely new way. It's already out for patrons, and I will soon upload it also on YouTube for you guys. But Dragoon, like if you know how to play with him, if you know how to special summon him in many different ways, then this card is just incredible. It's really incredible. Like, ooh, like I used to play the Dark Armed in this deck, but the Dark Arm, to be honest, was better in the last formats. In this current format, like, damn man, it's just, yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, if I had one more card base in my X deck, one more, I would add the Dark Arm back to this deck. But right now, unfortunately, the deck is just so tight that I cannot add him. But the Dark Arm is actually really important. Like, especially like if you're playing against Runic, like Dark Arm is actually really important. But at the same time, if you break the Kashtira board going second, you need to summon something. If you cannot summon Kali-Yuga, then you need to summon Dragoon, and Dragoon is going to dominate Kashtira. Okay, if you know how to use this negate. and this is the only reason why I started to play Dragoon again, because obviously full armors is also great if they don't have the fuse belt. Fuse belt, fuse belt, fuse, fuse belt, fuse belt. Yes. If you don't have if they don't have the fuse belt, then full armors is also going to dominate them. But otherwise, there's nothing in our deck that can dominate Kashtira, only besides Dragoon. Okay, and this is the reason why I feel like Dragoon needs to make a return in this deck. So yeah, trust me, guys. Like, and with Noctovision Dragon, it's so easy to summon him. Like, let's say for example, you have Noctovision Dragon on your hand, alongside with Zephyros and Vata, for example. This is like a bad hand, right? Who would have thought that you can summon on your 5th summon Dragoon? For example, like what I'm talking about is here. Normal summon Zephyros, special summon Vata, go into Muddy Mud Dragon. Now on summon, Noctovision effect triggers, he will be special summoned. This is now your 4th summoning. Activate Dragoon's Muddy Mud Dragon's effect, and boom, 5th summon is Dragoon. Okay, so a bad hand turned out to be a Dragoon. So yeah, just think about it, guys. This card is really, really good. Alright, and then of course for our Kali Yuga engine, you have to play Wystrix with Badish, Asna Falcon, and Kali Yuga, of course. And guys, I know it is really boring to constantly spam Kali Yuga, but what are we supposed to do, guys? This is like the best board in this format. Like no other board is as good as this. Okay, so yeah. By the way, I want to show you real quick the board that I can build with only one Simoon. And it basically looks like this. You're gonna have Ballard, you're gonna have Soul Dragon, Dragoon, and Kali Yuga. Like only one Simoon gives you all of this. All of this. Okay. So there's no other board in this deck, in this format, that is better than this. There isn't. Okay, because we do not lose against cards like Book of Eclipse, Evilly Match, Dark Will No More. No. Matter of fact, we are maybe the only deck that does not lose against those normal spell and trap board breakers. The only thing that we're losing against is like Rossview, maybe Lava Golems, like those cards that literally beats almost every other deck, besides like back row decks, obviously. But yeah, okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. That is it. And let me just talk to you real quick. So as I was saying, guys, with this deck, day one I went 7-1-1, and I only had that one tie because it was my fault. Okay, I misplayed really bad, and the other loss I received in day one because my sighting was honestly really bad. I decided to sight in Veilers instead of Book of Eclipse against Sprite, which cost me literally a game because I top decked going second to Veiler, which could have been the Book of Eclipse. But yeah, could have, would have, whatever it is. I'll take that one L. Like, this is the only L that I take, which was like legit L. All those other L's, because I had that one match loss, right? That's not a common L. And then, yeah, this deck is insane. This deck is insane. But you need to give it, a try. And what I mean by give it a try is don't test it for 1-2 weeks. Like literally, you have to test it for months. You have to play it for months to understand those lines. Okay, because that's how long it took for me, honestly. Now I can say I feel really comfortable playing this deck. Like now it takes me only like 30 seconds to build my board. A couple months ago, it took me 5, 6, 7 minutes to build my board. Okay, you can ask all my friends, they know, because they've been watching me every time they play against me on locals. But nowadays, like I'm so comfortable with this deck that it just only takes me like 20 seconds, 30 seconds to build my whole board. The only thing that wastes time is if my opponent keeps asking me, what does this do? What does this do? With if they just let me go play it through, then it takes me like literally 20 seconds. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, guys, give this deck a try. Really, like, I'm so proud of it. I really am. And adding Noctivision Dragon to this deck just added so much more it added so much more consistency that I wouldn't have believed. But it is. It is. Yeah. Still can't believe they literally threw away a top cut in the YCS. Yeah, for the people that didn't know, the reason why I didn't make the top cut is because in day two, in day two, I got a deck check before my feature match would have started. I got the deck check and then I got a match loss for first of all, uh, not having two cards on the list. By the way, it was Muddy Mud Dragon and Dragoon. I forgot to change my Dark Armed and the second Blackwing Soul Dragon into Muddy Mud Dragon and Dragoon, which followed to be a game loss. And then the second game loss I received because in my deck box next to my main deck was also an Edison Blackwing deck, which should not be in the same box. I didn't know about that because I don't play competitive for long. Like I started playing competitive since October. For the people that didn't know, so yeah, this is the reason why I got a match loss, which followed for me, um, which led to me dropping. So yeah, that was really bad. But it is what it is, guys. We can't change the past. I hope you like this deck profile. If you want to like follow me, uh like I'm working on this deck every day, and if you want to see like updates on this deck, the changes that I'll do almost every day, like every week, whatever it is, or if you want like the latest recent deck list that I'm using, then don't forget to become a patron. And yes, because literally the only money that I make is from Patreon. I don't make I don't really make money from out of YouTube, to be honest, guys. I don't know if you knew, but yeah, 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 it is what it is. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.